In the news, Pandora Papers. 8 years governor of Anambra State, Peter will be summoned by the EFCC over alleged tax evasion and illegal offshore dealings. In Kenya, suspect and husband of late athlete Agnes Tirop makes brief appearance in court. And on the foreign scenes, Colin Powell, first black U.S. Secretary of State, dies of COVID-19 complications. Details shortly. This is TOS Television, your digital first Pan-African news network. I am Sagir Ibrahim and this is TOS News 360. We begin with Nigeria, where the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has called on former governor of Anambra State, Peter Obi, for questioning over the alleged tax evasion and illegal offshore dealings exposed by Pandora Papers. Nigeria's anti-corruption agency is investigating Obi's secret assets and financial deals. This is the first known action by any Nigerian law enforcement agency since newsmen started reporting prominent Nigerians involved in offshore shenanigans exposed through the global Pandora Papers. Dr. Chikwe Ihekwazio has officially handed over the position of Director General, Nigeria Center for Disease Control, to Dr. Ifedayo Aditifa. This is as Ihekwazio prepares to mount the position of Assistant Director General of Health Emergency Intelligence at the World Health Organization on November 1, 2021. WHO Director General Tedros Ghebreyesus had announced the appointment in a statement which was addressed to all members of the health organization. Now to development across Africa. Residents and rebels on Monday confirmed an airstrike on the city of Mekelle, the capital of Ethiopia's war-torn Tigray region. According to Kindeya Geberehiwot, a member of the TPLF's Central Committee, Monday's bombardment happened in two parts of the city. In the first strike on Mekelle's outskirts at around 9:30 a.m. local time, 3 civilians were killed and dozens were wounded. The second airstrike hit a busy public market and dozens were injured, he added. The husband of the Kenyan athlete Agnes Tirop has appeared in court as a suspect in her murder. The magistrate said he would allow police to hold Ibrahim Rotich for 20 days, during which time he will be assessed to see if he is mentally fit to stand trial. Rotich was arrested last week in the coastal city of Mombasa. Police said he was trying to flee the country. Agnes Tirop was found stabbed to death in her home in western Kenya. UN Special Rapporteur Elena Duhan has arrived in Zimbabwe to assess the impact of sanctions on the country by the US and the European Union. The sanctions were imposed in 2002 when Robert Mugabe was president. They target companies and specific individuals both within the Zimbabwean government and those associated with it. President Emerson Mnangagwa blames them for crippling development in the country, but the US and EU sanctions have previously said the restrictions had no impact on the economy. Duhan is expected to be in the country for 10 days and is scheduled to meet government officials, civil society organizations, representatives from the private sector and opposition parties, according to the state-owned Herald site. This is your digital first Pan-African News Network, TOS Television, and you are watching TOS News 360. More African stories plus global business and sports stories when we return. Do stay with us. Thank you for staying. The Eswatini government has shut down all schools indefinitely as crisis in the country deepens amid pro-democracy protests. The move by the government to shut schools indefinitely comes after weeks of sustained protests by school children as they boycotted classes. The students have been demanding quality learning equipment, free education, and improved learning conditions. They've also joined pro-democracy protests, calling for an end to monarchical rule and want all political prisoners released, including 2 parliamentarians who were arrested earlier this year. Now on the global scenes, first black United States Secretary of State Colin Powell has died as a result of complications from deadly COVID-19. The news of General Powell's demise was made known by members of his family on his Facebook page on Monday. He was fully vaccinated. We want to thank the medical staff of Walter Reed National Medical Center for their caring treatment. We have lost a remarkable and loving husband, father, grandfather, and a great American, the Powell family said. The four-star general has been instrumental in shaping the foreign policy of Republican presidential administrations for decades. He served as a national security advisor to former President Ronald Reagan from 1987 to 1989 and chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff under former President George H.W. Bush from 1989. When he was confirmed as former President George Bush's Secretary of State in 2001, he became the first black person in U.S. history to take the role. At the time, he also became the highest-ranking black official in U.S. history. Minsk has recalled its ambassador to Paris, Igor Fasenko, and added that Lacoste was expelled because he never met President Alexander Lukashenko to give him copies of his credentials. Instead, he gave them to Belarusian Foreign Minister Vladimir Makar, according to the French embassy. France has also confirmed its ambassador to Belarus left the country on October 17. France, like other European Union countries, has not recognized Lukashenko's claim to a sixth presidential term in disputed elections in August last year. The EU and the United States have imposed waves of sanctions on Lukashenko's regime over a post-vote crackdown on dissent in Belarus after the country erupted in historic protests against his rule. And in business, the Nigerian Exchange Limited, NGX, have fined 40 companies due to different market infractions worth over 1 billion naira since 2020 to date. The fines were obtained from the X-Compliance Report published by the Nigeria Exchange. The X-Compliance Report is a transparency initiative of NGX Regulations Limited, NGX Regco, which is designed to maintain market integrity and protect investors by providing compliance-related information. And in sports, Real Madrid forward Karim Benzema is expected to go on trial in France on Wednesday over allegations of complicity in attempted blackmail of former international teammate Mathieu Valbuena in a case known as the sex tape affair. Benzema, 33, is accused of helping a group of alleged blackmailers to approach Valbuena in an attempt to extort money. 4 other men are also on trial. The case cost both Benzema and 37-year-old Valbuena their place in the French national team, although Benzema was restored to the lineup for this year's European Championship. And that is TOS News 360 on your digital-first Pan-African News Network. For more updates, visit www.tostvnetwork.com. Do follow and like our social media handles on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and remember to subscribe on YouTube. Do stay with us and enjoy more programs on the TOS Television Network. I am Sagir Ibrahim saying thank you for watching.
But we as a person are now defined